the 10th part of our little series, True or False, we're going to look at the painful subject for some of us of the takeaway position. So again, killer word for me, position. There wasn't a position until somebody photographed a movement. I will always teach you movements. I will never use the word position other than to diss it. Okay, so I was taught as a kid that when you take the club head back, at this point, when the club was sort of hip high, the club should be down the line with the toe pointing in the air. So the answer is true or false, or the question is true or false. It's false for 1,000 different reasons. It's done more damage than anything else I can think of in the golf swing. The idea that the club should be pointing down the line, toe in the air halfway back, is laughable. So why am I so animated about it? Why do I get so hot in the collar about it? Well, it does so much damage if you fall under that misinformation, really. It's a falsehood. Now, I can show you my best axe swing plane. In other words, the golf ball's opposite my upper sternum. I think you see that's an upright swing, glancing blow, and a flat swing, glancing blow. When my left shoulder locates under my throat, I'm in plane. So the club head stays at the same height as my sternum. If my head could move, my swing plane would look like this. The club head tracking perfectly in plane. It's a bit more complicated in the golf swing because the club is rolling and rising. But keep your eye on the sweet spot and the shoulder turn, because if the left shoulder locates under the jawline, I think you can agree that I'm in plane. So this is my best horizontal plane. I'm going to turn sideways now. You can see it. Flat, upright, in plane. It's a movement. So this would be a quarter, a half, a three-quarter and a full. So let's just do a half an axe swing to here. I've got half a club face rotation, half a shoulder turn. Now I'm going to lean forward. Can you see where the club head is? The club head is outside the hands. Okay? Now, if I did this with a 6-iron, there's the full, there's the half. I lean forward more. Oh look, the club head is even further outside my hands. If I show you the wedge swing and just do you a half, you can see that when I lean forward, that's when the club is the most outside hands. With the driver, half the swing would be to here, and you can see the club is closer to down the line. So the shaft and the wrist cock is determined by your swing plane. If your swing plane is flat with the driver, it's quite rolly. You'll be close to parallel to the target line. But with a wedge, you'll be here. I was playing with a teaching pro the other day, and his practice waggle, he was presetting his wrists on every driver. He was hitting flat pulls and blocks all day. Once he got to 6-iron down to wedge, he was great, because wrist cocking the takeaway is all right there. If you're hitting a driver, the last place you want is the club head outside your hands. It's much more rotational. So, not only is the club not pointing parallel to the target line all the time, where the club face points varies. So if this is half a swing with an axe, that's half with the driver, half with the 6-iron, half the wedge. You can see that the club face angle is changing. If I get my little sort of metal clip, which shows us about the lie, you can see that the club face normally would rotate through 90 degrees. I'm going to make you half a swing to here. So you can see that's half a swing, 45 degrees of club face rotation in the axe, in the driver, in the 6-iron, in the wedge. So you mustn't impose the same position on all the clubs. You must recognise that the movement is varied. The wedge is short, straight and upright and wristy. The driver's long, flat, rolly and non-wristy. So you can't put the club in the same position going back. So it's a real big one. It's one of those big heresies, the idea that the club should be parallel and toe up. If I show you my axe swing, again, I'm here. Okay? If I do this for you and stand up, it's nowhere near the plane. The The plane's up here somewhere. Just watch that again. If I do the old thing that I was taught as a kid, I was taught the club was parallel to the target line, toe in the air, hip high. Now stand me up to my axe plane. I'm nowhere near my axe plane, am I? My axe plane's up here. Flat is a disaster. So please, stop worrying about that position and takeaway. Even if it was true, you'd need to learn 13 of them, one for every club. The beauty is, if your grip and posture are good, focus on the whole journey of the backswing. Don't break the backswing up into pieces. You'll just fragment it. It's too complex. You can't find all those various nuances and changes. However, when you understand the grip and posture, as I know you do now, the whole journey of the left shoulder will change the mix of wrist, cock and form rotation. So don't go adding wrist hinge or form rotation unnaturally. Let the rotation of the shoulder coil and the length of the club choose the mix. You may find yourself, on the odd occasion, parallel toe in the air, but it's very rare, and even if it's true, I wouldn't want to teach it to you.